Pledge allegiance to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Nelson?
Yes.
Knapp?
Yes.
Donlin?
You on the phone, Mike?
Yes. Goodchild?
Yes.
Wick?
Yes. Motion to approve the agenda. I got a motion and a second. It was in stereo. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Okay. We're going to go right into the hearings. As you can see, I'm sitting here for Dick because it was a long agenda and he didn't want to do it. Probably the longest in about 3 months, isn't it? So we're going to kind of try to get through it. There's a couple of hearings we're going to have at the beginning here. The first one is proposed amendment to the Lamar's Highway 75 bypass urban renewal area. At its May 19, 2020 meeting, the council set this as the date and time to hear public comments regarding proposed amendment to Lamar 75 bypass urban renewal area. When new projects are added, the existing projects significantly change in scope or cost. Staff has been working with Dorsey Whitney to prepare the required documents. Consultation session was held with Lamar's and Plymouth County on June 2nd at 1:30. We're going to open the hearing, ask for any written or oral objections or comments to the amendment. Again, any written or oral objections to the amendment? After hearing all comments, the mayor is closing the hearing, turn it over to the council.
Motion to adopt resolution 2022 to approve urban renewal plan amendment for the Lamar's Highway 75 urban renewal area.
Second. You got a motion and a second to adopt the amendment. Any other discussion on it? Just to clarify, this is what we've been doing for 15 years. And basically this is just an update to make sure all the projects are known by all three entities. So we take roll call?
Goodchild?
Yes.
Donlin? Knapp?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Wick?
Yes.
Yes, I did.
You turn them up at all.
It was good enough for me. Okay, we got another hearing. Flip to number 2. Proposed development agreement with Lamar's Business Initiative Corporation. As May 19th, 2020 meeting, the council set the date and time to hear public comment regarding the proposed development agreement with Lamar's Business Initiative Corporation for $200,000 a year from the city of Marsh for 5 years to support economic development efforts. The council has approved a request of $200,000 a year paid by $155 from the joint urban renewal funds and $45,000 out of the general fund. Staff was instructed to work with Dorsey Whitney to create the agreement outlining the use of urban renewal TIF funds. Because with the legislature, we're using TIF funds is really specifically stated, so we got to make sure it's all right. The development agreement is attached. It's about 10 pages long. So the mayor's going to open this hearing, or the mayor pro tem, I guess, opens this hearing and asks for the written or oral objections or comments to this development agreement. Ask again if there's any written or oral objections or comments to the development agreement. After hearing all comments, the mayor's going to close the hearing and turn it over to council.
Make a motion to adopt resolution 2023 to approve development agreement with Lamar's Business Initiative Corporation authorizing annual appropriation tax increment payments and pledging certain tax increment revenues to the payment of the agreement.
Second to the motion.
Got a motion and a second to approve the development agreement with Lamar's Business Initiative Corporation. Any questions?
Further discussion, I'm just gonna be very clear. Everybody knows that I've been against this since it was proposed during budget. I trust the LBIC. I think in the interests of, and I understand the need for a certain amount of privacy when it comes to attracting business and dealing with new businesses. However, I probably am a little bit stronger believer in government needs to be an open book. That's why we have open meetings, that's why we have, so I think this could appear to be maybe trying to shield public knowledge of what dollars are being used for. So I am against it, and I'm gonna stay against it. I do believe City Council advised us a couple of weeks ago that this is not an automatic. Is that correct, Mike?
You are not obligated to fund them in any given year.
Will it automatically renew if we don't touch it, or how?
The agreement will stay in place, but every year at appropriation time, you have to decide whether or not you're going to give them funds.
Okay.
You have to do a budget. And if it's not in the budget, okay, they don't get the funds.
Okay. And then my last question, I guess, I know Neil's out there, so you won't be coming back for more money each year, and this is to build up? I mean, other than the 200 we're doing here.
Correct.
You won't be coming back to the coffers more and more and more.
There is no intention of that. You know, obviously in the past, that has been the occurrence. When we do have needs, we always come to the city council and get loans.
Sure.
That we then repay. So in that same text, that will still be functioning if such an event happens that we need that forward assistance. But there's no plan to come forward with additional funding, no.
Okay.
And I would like to just state for the council and the community itself, I just want to make them aware that the LBIC board does consist of 4 representatives from the city. 2 council members, the mayor, and city administrator do sit on that board with the other board members. So the city is still continually involved in everything.
Right, and I get that, and I know Mike Donald brought that up a while back. He said, you know, rest assured, we've still got, but my record clearly shows over 6.5 years that a 4-to-1 vote, no one needs to ask who the one is. So it's not that I necessarily go along with the group anyway, not that I appreciate the discussion and I appreciate the openness of it. That's what I'm trying to protect by being against this.
No, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, and so it's not because I distrust the LBIC or anything like that. There's time for secrecy and there's time for, but I think in general, just to say, here's an extra fund, I'm not comfortable with it. So anyway, good enough.
I understand completely. We'll make you comfortable over time.
Appreciate it. There you go.
We got a motion to approve the appropriation tax agreement. Roll call.
Donlin?
Yes.
Goodchild?
No.
Knapp?
Yes.
Wick?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Motion passed. And just to be clear, if there's a stop sign, it's 4-to-1 with me being the one. And if it's Kenny with cigarettes, it's 4-to-1 with him being the no on cigarettes. So we all got our items.
You're right.
So that we don't do that in any case with any votes lightly.
No, I agree.
Okay, this is, we believe that we have to stand by what we do and support what we do, so.
And no matter the vote, clearly, we move forward as a group.
Right.
With those decisions.
Yeah, I told them I still stop at the stop sign over there on Sixth. Sometimes it's slow and go if I don't see the police officer. Okay, so we'll move on.
Anyway, yeah, that's right.
General discussion, citizens, anybody in the audience that's a citizen with a comment, question? Okay, I'd like to ask Dave, our fire chief, to come to the podium and explain our shooter situation for fireworks, because
Thank you for finishing that statement.
there's a lot of people that don't quite understand why we're moving it to the fifth.
Yeah, I thought I knew where he was going with that, Steve, but I wasn't sure. Yeah. Okay, first and foremost, fireworks is a go. I told you guys last council meeting we weren't sure. A couple of reasons for that, of course, COVID. We weren't sure, first of all, that we'd be able to get the product, because as things shut down and people weren't working, things weren't getting packaged and sent and put together and all that. There are several fireworks shows that have canceled across the state of Iowa and the country. So there is product available, so we are able to get product. The next thing we run into every 4 or 5 years is the 4th falls on a Saturday. And a lot of communities in Iowa have huge shows on Saturday the 4th. The place where we get our product is J&M Displays here in Iowa. They're clear down southeast Iowa in a little town called Yarmouth. They also provide us the licensed, insured shooters. Well, there's only so many of those. So when they have these bigger shows, when a 4th falls on a Saturday, it makes it tough for us to get a shooter because of the size of the dollar amount of our show. So with that said, Algona, which has the motorcycle rally on the 4th with a huge fireworks show, and then of course Okoboji's doing fireworks all the time right now, and a huge show on the 4th. It was tough to get a shooter. So we looked at July 3rd, which was Friday, and we looked at July 5th, which is Sunday. The other thing, there's so many logistics that go into this that people don't understand. There's a horse show going on at the fairgrounds that weekend. Well, if anybody knows the fairgrounds, where the horse arena sits compared to where the grandstands and our fireworks show is, obviously we can't shoot fireworks when there's horses out there either. It's not our grounds, it's not our facility, the city doesn't own it, so we get to use it based on the fairgrounds availability. The horses leave Sunday at 4:30. So Sunday night is our first opportunity to use the fairgrounds for fireworks. Number 2, with the shooter issue, what they're planning on doing is taking stuff to Algona and then coming right here Sunday. It takes about roughly 8 to 9 hours to set up the fireworks show and wire everything up. So they'll come from there to here. So our product will probably go to Algona and then come over here, which is easier than bringing 4 semi-loads of product here and then trying to move on to Algona the next day as well. So first of all, we're lucky enough that we get to do it because so many things have been taken away this year, it seems like anyway. We will be roping off the grandstands, so we won't allow people to sit in the grandstands this year. We usually don't have a lot that sit in the grandstands, but just for the separation, we'll rope that off. People will be responsible to physically distance and separate on their own. They can stay in their cars, they can be outside their cars as in the past and maintain their 6 foot of distance and things like that, social distancing. And we will do a great show. The nice thing is, because we are a multi-year contract with J&M, we get about $11,000 some odd show for our $9,000 that we spend. Really, the only way to fix this issue would be to have a larger show, which I don't really think we need to do. We get about 20, 25 minutes of fireworks in. These other, larger events that raise money and spend $90,000, $100,000, that attracts the shooters, and it takes more shooters to put those shows on. We technically need 1 shooter for our size show. Some of those other shows, they have 4 or 5 people there doing it, and it takes a day and a half to set it up. So there's a lot of logistics that go into this thing as far as use of a facility, ability to get a product, ability to get a shooter, and if there's anything else going on to do that. So we went with July 5th. It'll be at dusk. It'll be 20 minutes, 25 minutes long. So by 10:30 it'll be all done. And the rain date would be then July 6th, the next night, if we'd have a storm or something come through. Because that could mess up things logistically as well. If we have storms or lightning in the area, whether we're shooting on July 1st, the 4th, the 5th, or whatever, we got to deal with the storm issue as well. The other nice thing about July 5th, I just made the comment as I emailed you council folks, is anybody that happens to be out of town over the 4th, if they're home Sunday night to go to work Monday, they'll actually get to see the show that their tax dollars pay for. Where sometimes that doesn't happen depending on when we do the shoot. It's no different than if you have to change Halloween trick-or-treating night because of a logistics thing or a storm or an ice storm as we had back in the 90s. Trick-or-treating happened the next night, you know. So this was a COVID issue, but it's also an issue we'll have to face every 4 or 5 years when this falls on a Saturday. But when it's on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, even Friday, we don't have a problem. Usually I find a shooter. So, questions on that?
Nice of you to do it on my wife's birthday, she's just really tickled.
Well, you know, we thought we'd send her out with that, you know, that'd be a good thing. And then you could tell her, I'm taking you to fireworks, what more do you want, Karen? I mean, what more can I get you, right?
It's free.
Right.
Yeah.
So the other thing I wanted to bring up, as long as I have the podium here real quick, if you have not been fired by fire station number 1, on the south or north side of our building, I should say, by our flagpole and our bell, where our mural is, we had an Eagle Scout that for a project did a retirement flag box for United States or American flags. So that box is there, you can lift the lid, drop your flag in, and then those go to the Legion for the ceremonial burning and the proper way to dispose of our flag for our country. So if you haven't been by, take a look at that. It turned out really nice. The gentleman is a senior and graduated now and was an Eagle Scout, and now he's actually joined the military. So we wish him well. And that box is permanently mounted over by Station 1 for a drop-off point, and it turned out really well. Okay, thank you. Anything else there, Mayor? Pro Tem?
No, I think that's what
Okay.
does it. I know you've been on the radio and stuff, but.
Oh, just wait, Dave.
Wait, Mike's got something.
I have a question for the chief.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Dave, I know on our consent agenda this time, plus in past months, there's a lot of inspections that are piling up due to COVID, and maybe those things are relaxing, and we've got quite a backlog that you're going to be dealing with at some future date, or is a plan coming together to knock those out?
We actually did 17 in the last week. So we have caught everything back up to date on daycares, Mike, and all the liquor inspections now are current.
Excellent, good for you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're just gonna move from one side to the other. We'll just go right to the police. I know we have fireworks rules. I also know people tend to break fireworks rules, so it's a reminder. Thank you.
Yeah, the time is coming up. Actually, 2 things. We'll go with the fireworks thing first, which we changed the ordinance last year to shorten the time frame where we discharge fireworks. So just a reminder to the public, July 3 through July 5th this year, from noon until 11 p.m. So just make sure you follow those guidelines as far as the city ordinance, when you can discharge them. If you see issues, give us a call. You know, we're still out and about. Don't be afraid to contact law enforcement. And to feed off that, I know law enforcement's been in the news a lot lately. So I guess on behalf of myself and the police department, we do want to thank our community. It's been a very supportive community. We enjoy working with them. So it's just been in the news a lot. So I think it's owed to the community members that we definitely appreciate their support. And we'll do whatever we can to, whatever call, don't be afraid to contact law enforcement. That's what they're here for. So, thanks.
Thanks, Justin.
Well, that leads right into mine because that was my thumbs up guy. I wanted him at the podium when I said it. Police department does a great job here. They answer all the calls. We still do get a lot of calls on 911. I've been there a few times when they get calls, and they seem to get a bunch. But that doesn't mean we should stop. That's what they're there for, that's what they do, so we should do that. Any thumbs up, Mr. Wick?
Thumbs up to our city crews. Two items. For Flag Day on Sunday, they had the flags up and flying briskly on Sunday because the wind was blowing. And then the other is to get all the benches out and downtown looking back to sittable and normal again. So thumbs up to our city crews for doing that.
Thanks, Steve. Bart?
I'll pass, thank you.
Michael, you got anything for thumbs up?
I'm good for this meeting.
Okay.
Rex, I'm gonna piggyback on what Steve mentioned about the benches and give kudos to Rick Wright and his daughter Madison. They're the ones that they refurbished the benches, refurbished the trash cans. Plus, if you haven't seen it yet, they redid the Foster Park sign. So that's completely redone. So thank them for doing that.
Wonderful. Again, that's kind of what we are, as a community, people helping people. Okay, we're gonna move into consent items. There is 11 of them, just to totally confuse everybody. We're gonna approve the regular minutes, we're gonna approve the list of bills, the monthly financial statement, renewal liquor license, outdoor service, all that good stuff for Archie's, Pease, Habituate, Four Brothers, and a 5-day liquor license to Backers. Granting cigarette permits to the Brew, Casey's, Corp, Daily Stop, Fairway, Gas Hazard, Hy-Vee Food Store, Kimes, and Walmart. And then connection area agency agreement is providing meals. Is that right?
The Meals on Wheels next door.
Meals on Wheels. And then the search agreement for $3.50 for a ride. And that's no increase from last year. Then we go to appointments, and we're gonna reappoint Jan Wagner and Wayne Shipper to planning and zoning, so they can meet this afternoon. Is that this afternoon? Yeah, so they can come right in and go right to work.
Can I ask a question on that one? I know Dick's not here, and this is just a question. I want to take her on. Does Jan still live here? I know Georgia does, but that's a
Yeah, she's here,
Okay.
out on Willow Run.
Okay, good enough. I, for some reason, thought they retired at Old Lakes.
Nope.
That's fine. Cool.
And then Historic Preservation Commission is Mike Wells Jr. and Stu Technica. And then the fire and ambulance personnel rates. Basically, it looks like no change for those. New recreation. What?
There is one.
One change? Okay, I missed that one on the fire.
Yeah, the fire.